Today, I am announcing my candidacy for the nomination of my Republican Party to serve as your President of the United States.
It's official. Congressman Thaddeus Mccotter announced his bid for the White House last night, and this morning he's here with us in the studio.
Congressman Mccotter, thanks so much for joining us, getting up early after a big announcement last night.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Well, it seems like you agree pretty much with the Republican Party right down the roster, except for the auto bailouts. Now, how do you think that's going to play nationwide?
Well, except for the auto industry, and most importantly, the dichotomy between how the Wall Street bailout was handled, which has failed and which I opposed. And as you know, then what we believe to be disparate treatment between the workers within the auto industry, the manufacturing base, and how we in Michigan understand not only that we need a manufacturing base for the future of the country's prosperity, but we also understand that what we have to do is fix the banks. The absence of credit flowing down, the inability for entrepreneurs and workers to grow this economy is what is starting to doom us to what happened to Japan, which is a lost decade of economic growth, and we simply cannot have that.
During this presidential run, how do you compete with some of the big names out there who seem to get media attention no matter what they do? Michelle Bachmann, Newt Gingrich. How do you get your name out there and make sure people around the country know who you are?
Well, this is the Republican Party's first social networking primary. The Democrats went through it in 2008. So what it allows you to do is through Twitter, through Facebook, through traditional media, is to get a message in front of people far more instantaneously than in the past. And then they can judge it and they can multiply that effect if they like it by sending it to their friends. So as we've already seen in this election, people can come from seemingly nowhere, get their message, get traction and get attention, or they can also go back to nowhere. So it'll be a very interesting period of time, but I think that if the message resonates, then I think you'll get your name out.
What to you is success in this race? Is it just getting your name out there, perhaps ending up as a vice president on the ticket?
No, it's winning.
Is it? You're actually shooting for the top?
Well, as Coach Mack told us at Catholic Central, there's no other reason to play the game than to win.
Some critics have said that this might be a name grab, just trying to get the name out there to increase your profile for maybe a run at Senate or governor. Is this a true run for the president here?
Well, we have a governor there, and he just got elected. I hope he doesn't go anywhere anytime soon as a Republican. I hope he's there for 8 years. And Senator Stabenow's running this year, so to see that would be the time to do that. So people are going to say what they're going to say. They're going to give you a million reasons not to vote for me. My job's to give you one.
And what will be your message nationwide? What will be the key thing you want people to remember from this weekend?
This weekend is that we can have a future of prosperity and security, but it's going to be up to the American people. Government is too big at this period of time. It's imploding around us. It's no longer sustainable in the 21st century, and we have to make sure that it is restructured, that the banks are restructured, and that we go forward as a country into a period of prosperity and economic growth that I think will be unprecedented in American history.
And during this race, what will you point to as your biggest accomplishments for the people of Livonia and surrounding neighborhoods?
I think the two things that I'll be most remembered for is opposing the Wall Street bailout and supporting the auto industry, supporting American manufacturing, and I'm quite proud of that. I think it would have been otherwise to break the faith with not only the people of Michigan, but with people who actually work for a living and produce wealth in this country. If we'd have simply abandoned them and allowed the social cost of their cherished way of life to be destroyed, their hearth of home to be destroyed, I think that would be relegating us to a second-class country.
Where do we go with health care?
I think with health care, what we have to do is we have to repeal and replace Obamacare. The problem with Obamacare is that it believes that government can control the supply of health care. And when government controls and constricts the supply of something, as more people want it, the cost is going to go up. It's going to affect Medicare, it's going to affect Medicaid, it's going to affect people's private health insurance. So what we have to do is allow for supply-side health care, for the market to expand, consumer choice and control within it to squeeze the inefficiencies out so that you can match rising demand with rising supply. That's the only way to stabilize the cost, and we'll also have a concomitant benefit to the entitlement programs that are there by reducing the cost of providing those.
All right, Congressman, thanks so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck.
You tell Mr. Edwards we don't need hot weather like that for any more announcements.
You can tell him right now. Let's send it over to Chris.
Let's go to Chris.
Mr. Edwards has gotten the message, sir. Indeed, yes, a record high yesterday, but very different today.